Trinity! Trinity! Luna! Wake up! Trinity jolted awake at the Vincent's hissing. She reached down to grab her book from the floor. She didn't normally fall asleep in classes, but Professor Thompson's voice soothed her like no one else's. Plus, Trinity was still recovering from that weekend's alpha visit. Trinity turned to whisper to Vincent. How long was I out? Long enough, Professor Thompson answered in a sneer. Trinity turned toward with a start. How could she hear that? One sniff of the air answered that question. Trinity fought down a gasp. She'd known someone in her class was a wolf. There were too many scents to pick out who before. But this close, she knew without asking exactly who it was. The English composition professor herself. I'm sorry, Professor, Trinity said automatically. I haven't been sleeping well. The last few weeks have been so busy, it won't happen again. She wasn't even lying. The last month and a half had completely changed her life. Professor Thompson leaned down to her ear. You dropped your guard, Luna. Your alpha mate can't protect you forever. Best pay attention to what's around you. Trinity stiffened. Professor Thompson walked back to the front as if nothing had happened. How do you say something so ominous and scary and then walk away? Trinity didn't know if Thompson was a part of their pack or from somewhere else. She opened her mouth to ask Vincent, but Professor Thompson cut her off. That's it for today. Class dismissed. Vincent rose to his feet. Trinity didn't want to ask him questions that Thompson could hear. Let's get out of here, she said. We have time for lunch, Vincent said. Trinity smiled. At Franny's, please. Juniper perked up from a few seats down. The boys had sat between them that day. I'm in. They're out. She barely finished her sentence before Paul and Cedar took off in the opposite direction. They're joining some martial arts tournament. Trinity chuckled. That's cheating. They'll be stronger than the humans by a mile. Vincent held the door to the classroom for Trinity and Juniper to walk through. The three of them fell into step once they got outside. The weather was nice enough that they could walk to Franny's kitchen. Juniper rolled her eyes. Paul's practically mated to us both. Me in the romantic way, and Cedar in the platonic life-mate way. I thought I was getting away from my twin, but nope. He and my mate are practically running away together. Did they tell you they're thinking of becoming pack warriors? Trinity shook her head. I'd put in a good word for them with Reese, but who knows whether he'll listen or not. Juniper sucked her teeth. He'd better learn to listen. He can't treat you like crap forever. Vincent looked at Trinity questioningly. Things haven't gotten any better? I thought they would after the hotel. Trinity's eyes widened as she shook her head sharply. It didn't matter. Juniper had heard him, and her best friend was a bloodhound. The hotel? Juniper screamed. What hotel? Trinity glared at Vincent. You just had to say that, didn't you? He tried to help. They had to keep up appearances. They had to have one room. One room? Trinity shushed Juniper. You have to stop screaming. We're going inside. Juniper held her hand over her mouth until the three of them got seated in a booth. The moment the waiter left, Juniper pounced on Trinity. You were sobbing over him last week, and now you're sleeping together? Juniper demanded. I don't know if I should be more worried or proud of you for taming that beast. She wiggled her eyebrows at the end. Trinity blushed furiously. She couldn't meet Vincent's eyes. There was no beast taming, Trinity insisted. Juniper pouted. Not even a little bit? Trinity's mind flashed back to their near kiss as she teased him with her hand on his knee. Vincent cleared his throat. You look a bit red, Luna. Trinity swore. Nothing happened. There was some flirting and light touching. Not like that! I touched his knee. His knee? Juniper exclaimed. After I threatened to hurt him if he did anything I didn't want him to do. I said I didn't want to have to bite it off. She mumbled her last words as if that would make them less mortifying to say in front of her guard. Juniper laughed. Trin, there are much better things to do than bite it. Vincent covered his ears. I'm not hearing this. Juniper pointed at Vincent. He knows all about it. That's how we got 3 kids. I'm just saying if Reese is booking romantic suites, maybe he's over whatever his hang-up was. Trinity's heart sang. I don't want to get my hopes up. I told you what he said before. Actions speak louder than words. And he acts like he likes you. Juniper added. Trinity glanced at Vincent for support. Her guard looked hopeful, too. I can't believe we roped you into girl talk. I'm sorry, Vincent. He shook his head. No apology needed. A little girl talk is a worthy price to be the personal guard of my Luna. Juniper smiled. Free college classes aren't a bad price either. He laughed. If only I could pick the courses. Trinity rolled her eyes playfully. Okay, that's enough out of you two. Let's eat. Trinity felt better than ever on the walk back to the car. She had Vincent and Juniper on her side. Her mate clearly didn't hate her as much as he used to. Things are finally looking up, she thought. Then she sensed it. Luna! Vincent shouted. He sensed them too. He spun her around by the waist to move her out of the way. That's when she spotted the wolf sprinting straight towards them. Shit! Vincent grabbed her by the waist and took off running. He and Trinity ran toward the building that they just passed. Most people commuted here, so the students didn't linger around. They went to class, and they went home, meaning there was no one to hide behind. Vincent growled. How many? It was a test for her. She started to look, but he added, without looking. She sensed two for sure. Both of them were werewolves, already shifted into their wolf forms. They had to be rogues, or from an enemy pack. Why are they chasing me? She and Vincent rounded a corner and Trinity sensed a third person coming at them, from a different angle at that time. 3, she said confidently. He dropped her wrist with another growl. Good, now stay behind me. I'm going to have to shift. Trinity's eyes jumped from him to the direction of the newcomer. She expected to dodge the new attacker, but this third wolf charged straight past them. Trinity got a whiff of them then. She had smelt the same scent that morning. It's Professor Thompson. Thompson's wolf rammed into the first of the attackers. That wolf flew back. Thompson took that brief pause to turn and look at Trinity, with the same bright green eyes that watched her during class. Trinity didn't know whether to be grateful or even more confused. Whose side was Thompson on? They didn't have time for questions. The second wolf charged at Thompson. Professor! Watch out! Trinity cried. At the time, Vincent leaped into the fight. Thompson turned quickly to ram into a second wolf, and with Vincent's added force, they crushed the wolf between them. The first wolf still hadn't given up. He slinked quietly in hopes of getting to Trinity without anyone noticing. But Trinity wasn't as oblivious as they all thought. She watched the wolf out of the corner of her eye. The moment he lunged for her, she kicked off the wall and used it to propel herself away. He crashed into it, losing time and speed. He doubled back to leap again. That time, Trinity caught him in the jaw with the tail end of a backflip. His head flew backwards, and he roared in pain. Oh no, not more of them. Trinity grunted. She heard at least 6 more rogues heading their way. This was an ambush. Luna, run! Trinity took off towards town. She knew the rogues were less likely to follow her where humans were. They timed the attack perfectly for a nearly empty campus, but if she could get back towards Franny's or anywhere else. Come on, Trinity, move faster. Vincent caught up to her easily. She was faster than a human, but he was still faster than her, even out of his wolf form. Faster, he urged. I can't, she yelled. Her voice shook. I'm sorry, I can't. He reached for her arm, pulling and lifting her into his arms at the same time. She struggled in his grip. No, I'll slow you down. Only if you fight me. His speed didn't change at all. Trinity tried to think of where to go. Their car was too far the other way. They couldn't get all the way to the compound like this. It would take too long. Their only choice was to go into town and stay there. Trinity gasped. We left Professor Thompson. She tried to look back, but couldn't see the familiar wolf. Focus, Luna. Where can we go in the city? Vincent asked, still running. Franny's won't work. The mall, Trinity said. It's crowded. All the humans will stop the wolves. The scents will help us hide. Vincent nodded. The mall it is. The streets were already getting busier. He slowed down and chanced a glance back. He couldn't see any of the rogues, so he set her down on her own feet. He kept one hand on her wrist to guide her and used his other hand to make a call. Rogue attack, he said the moment they answered. No time for games. I need you to get the others together and get to the mall now. Trinity could barely make out the other guard David's voice. Where the hell is the mall? Trinity took the phone. By the university, 5 miles north. Follow Chancellor Boulevard and you'll find us. Yes, Luna, be right there. Her heart pounded the whole way to the mall. The fountains in the center courtyard were their perfect vantage point. If anyone came near, Trinity or Vincent would see them. The two sat in tense silence, scanning the shoppers for friend or foe. Then Trinity smelt him. A wolf she would know anywhere. A wolf who smelled of spiced coffee and forest grounds. She chuckled. I thought you weren't saving me anymore, she said without raising her voice. She knew Reese was listening, and he rolled his eyes once he was close enough for her to see.
So, the little bunny finally admits she needs saving. Never thought I'd see the day.
Don't let your excitement die! The full audio series is on the Pocket FM app. Tap the link in the description to install now.